So how long will engine enamel last on your intake manifold? With the few tips and tricks we share in this video, should be good for the long haul. Alright guys, so welcome back to the channel. This is Kevin again here with Yerkit Racing, and this one we are working on our intake manifold. As you can see in front of me, gotten it where we want it. Definitely did not start out looking this way. Definitely in pretty rough shape. I had ported the inside. If you paid attention a few videos back, then you saw where we made a mistake and put lye on the intake manifold in the form of oven cleaner. I guess I left it too long. I've seen some people have limited success with it. For me, it definitely was not the way to go. So anyway, that video, you can go back and check it out. I'll link it up above. Basically though, we had to end up getting a sandblasting cabinet, which is also in another video. I'll put that up there as well. Maybe you see the cabinet behind me over here. We ran this through the blasting cabinet and got all that, I think it's aluminum oxide, I guess is what it forms into. It's like a black coating it kind of made on the aluminum. So anyway, we got all that off inside and out. And then I took and polished the rails back up top, got those looking nice, painted, went through, and then we torched it with the MAP gas torch, and that pulls all the impurities out of the material, out of the aluminum. Any kind of oil or dirt, anything that's in the pores, it pull it out. So we did that, and then we came back and primed it, painted it, and then went back one more time and polished those back out. Then we came back through, we polished our rails, painted our bracket, and then just basically generally installed everything back on the engine. On the intake manifold here. So really happy with the way it turned out. The intake looks great in my opinion. So anyway, the only question really for me is how long will this thing stay looking good with the engine enamel? I know, powder coat would probably be a little more durable in the long run. Hopefully this will last us for a good long time. We definitely took the precautions to get it to a point where we think it should last. So anyway, I'm going to take you through the process, let you guys see how we did everything, touch on a few pointers here and there maybe, and anyway, we're going to get it, guys. Alright guys, and if you would, give me a comment down below. Let me know how long you think this paint will hold up and how much longer you think I could have got out of a powder coat if I went that route. So anyway, I look forward to seeing your comments down there. If you got any questions, leave them in there too, man. I'd be happy to try to answer anything I can. So anyway, let's jump in it, guys.
Alright guys, so we started with a Dremel tool and some polishing wheels. I believe I had about 180 grit up to 450 or 500, 600 grit, something like that. I thought that those would be honestly enough to get me where I wanted to have the results that I was looking for. It turned out to not be the case really. This intake manifold had a lot of pitting in it, and I'm not sure if that's something that all the LT1 intake manifolds have on those top rails up there, or if it's, a result of me putting the oven cleaner on it and having that issue. Maybe it pitted it a little bit. Either way, I had pits that I wanted to try to work out. So I ended up hitting it with an 80 grit cartridge roll, and that really wasn't getting me where I needed to get. I came back with the wire wheel. That probably seemed to do about as good a job as anything did of masking the pits, not really removing them, but it kind of blended them better than anything. Anyway, so after I hit that, got to work with the hand sander on with some sandpaper on it. Started with 60 grit and worked my way up. Again, just trying to remove those pits. It's crazy, but those things actually ran a lot deeper than I thought they did initially. They basically just looked like surface pit, and I thought I'd be able to smooth it all the way out, but I chased that thing for a while. Like I said, started with 60, worked my way up to about 600 range or so, again with the sandpaper on the electric hand sander. Came back and used some sandpaper on it's a pad I have that goes on an impact driver or a drill. Put that in and started working with that, and I was going through and it was cutting a lot of the pits out of it. There was a few, however, that just didn't want to do it, and so I'm trying to concentrate in the areas where the pitting is heavy, like without really digging, so it wasn't uneven. Unfortunately, I did manage to dig a little deeper in one location than the rest. Just from the profile that I was looking at, it didn't appear like it was cutting it. I thought what's going on, it literally didn't look like it was removing anything. But as soon as I moved the intake manifold and the light hit it a little bit different, bam, it showed up. So just a note to yourself, if you're doing something like this, make sure you take a look at it from different angles fairly often, so you're not getting in any kind of trouble that way. Anyway, after that, I decided to just move on from the sandpaper and go ahead and just get my final polish in, because I didn't want to dig anything else out. It was just done, I was kind of done chasing the pits basically. So I threw on, I think, 1,000 and 1,500 and a 2,000 grit paper, and then I went from the 2,000 to a 3,000 grit soft disc on the drill pad and put some white diamond rouge polish on it and hit it on the intake, and man, it polished it to like a mirror. I mean, the thing was really looking good. So I cleaned that all up. I also had a 5,000 grit soft pad that you just use with your hand. So I put some more polish on that and did the 5,000 grit by hand. Then I cleaned all that back off and I hit it one more time with just the polish on a rag and cleaned it up. And I mean, at this point, guys, I'm telling you, this thing was like a mirror. You could not get it any shinier than it was at that point. I don't think. I mean, you know, maybe somebody could, but I couldn't. So I was really happy with that, and I wanted it to be super smooth and polished before I painted it, because I felt like that, you know, if it was that smooth, the paint would have a hard time really sticking to it, and afterwards I'd be able to just kind of scrape it off pretty easy. Alright, after all that, we were finally ready to head back out to the garage. We maxed everything up and we got the torch out. Hopefully you can see it in the video, but as you run the torch across the intake, it will actually pull the oil, moisture, whatever kind of contaminants are in the pores, it'll pull it out. It's pretty cool. Got the idea from Uncle Tony's garage. Probably, you know, I'll put a link down to his channel below. Check him out if you haven't seen him. Guys has a bunch of really good tips and stuff about a lot of different things, so definitely recommend his channel. But anyway, so we did that. After we got that part done, we finished masking the last little bit, and we shot it with the primer, a couple of coats, the paint, I think it went 3 coats, and then the clear coat, which I did 2 coats of. So once we did that, I had to scrape the paint back off of the top rails and polish that back out with a 3000 grit and the white diamond rouge. Once that part was done, I moved on to cleaning up the fuel rail, and then we final assembled the intake manifold. We also used the heat gun to cure the paint. I don't have a dedicated oven for curing paint. You're supposed to bring this stuff up to 200 degrees for the paint to actually cure. This, you can do it with it on the motor, but you know, and it running, it will cure itself naturally that way in most cases. But for our application, and just having to handle the manifold in and out, trying to get the engine in, it was just better to go ahead and try to cure it now to give us the best possible chance at the paint surviving. So I definitely, though, if you don't have an oven in the garage dedicated for curing paint or powder coat, then do this method. Use your heat gun and infrared pen and just sit there until the temperature comes up where you need it. It doesn't take that long, but you don't want the fumes from the paint where it off gases, you know, getting mixed in with the stuff you eat. That stuff is really toxic.
Alright, so now that you guys have seen everything that we've done to the intake manifold, like I said, we're really happy with the way it all came out. At least as far as initial appearance goes, I think it's pretty stellar. It's going to look good on top of the motor for sure. The only question, like I said again, is how long will it last? But I mean, with taking the extra time, you know, we sandblasted it, so that cleaned it up really good. Then we came back through and hit it with the torch to pull out any kind of oils or anything that may be left in the pores. That should give us a pretty good base to lay down the paint on. We hit it with the primer, hit it with the paint, we got the clear coat on it, everything's high temp. I think it should hold up fine, man. I really do. Like I said, there again, it'll be interesting to see your comments down below. You guys, once again, y'all drop me a comment down. Let me know, if you think it's 2 weeks, 2 days, 2 years, forever. Let me know. I'll be interested to see. So, anyway, that's going to do it for this one, guys. I appreciate everybody following along with the build, with the channel, all the support we've been getting from everyone. It's greatly appreciated. You guys are awesome, and we will see you on the next one.